This is the plaintiff, Gregory Adam Balsarac. He says he's a former law enforcement officer and owns a 7-unit rooming house. The defendant rented from him for a short time, smoked marijuana in the room, and also shortchanged him on the rent. Luckily, he got him to move out, but he still owed $3,700 for unpaid rent plus interest. So he's suing him for just that. This is the defendant, Carlos Bowles. He says living in the plaintiff's rooming house was troublesome from the start. The place had a very bad smell. It was infested with flies. There were yellow urine stains on the walls, and when he complained to the plaintiff, it fell on deaf ears. If that weren't bad enough, the plaintiff put him in a headlock and is nothing but a corrupt ex-correction officer with a drinking and anger problem. Owe him money. Ha! He's accused of being a rotten roomer. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for slander and defamation of character.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please.
Okay, Gregory. Thank you, sir.
I got it.
Gregory Balsarac, you are suing Carlos Bowles.
Yes.
For $3,700 that you say he owes you in rent plus interest. He is no longer your tenant, right?
No longer, Your Honor.
Okay, so tell me what happened.
In January of this year, I purchased a investment property in Freeport, New York, a legal rooming house. I have the rental permit and the application for the rental permit signed. Yes, you can.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, it's a legal rooming house in Freeport. It was inspected by the building inspector. The house is certified right now to being 100% at code. It's been a legal rooming house for the last 40, 50 years.
Right. All right, so go on.
Okay, so when I purchased the house, there was a leak in the roof, which I can show that I had contract that was also fixed prior to Mr. Bowles moving in.
Okay. Is there a written agreement between you two for a rental or no?
No, there was no written agreement,
Okay.
but I do have
And what were you charging him to live there?
$600 a month, $625 when you use an air conditioner.
Okay.
Okay, these are the rental receipts of the months that he paid and a list also of what he paid and what was owed.
And according to you, he's behind from the very first month.
Well, the very first month, the very first week, he paid me $100 from March 23rd to April 1st.
So that was a prorated, agreed upon amount.
Right.
All right. Do you have your receipts from when you paid?
I only got the one. He was always like, I'll give you a receipt, give you a receipt. Let me check my books.
Why would you pay cash and not get a receipt?
Thinking he was a corrections officer when I first walked in there, saw his badge, thinking I could, all right, he's not going to.
Thinking you could what? What difference does it make? I don't care if he's a man of the cloth. If you're handing cash over to somebody, there could be at a minimum confusion and at a maximum deception. So why would you ever hand something? Because I'm not going to believe that, because otherwise everybody in your position could say that all the time and claim they paid twice as what they paid. So you basically have no receipts.
I have one from the last time I paid him.
Let's
with the
see what you
balance
got.
only $100. I mean, if you look at the numbers up top, you can tell it's from him.
This is the yellow copy to this one.
Okay, yeah.
But there's receipts before it and there's receipts after
give you a
it.
receipt, give you a receipt. He never gave it.
All you have to do is grab the nearest crayon and the nearest roll of toilet paper and write a receipt. That's all you got to do. All right, so go on. According to you, then, he owes all this money for, in April, he doesn't pay $425. May, he doesn't pay at all. June, no, at this point, why aren't you evicting him?
I went into eviction process. As of in April. And this is signed by the court and stamped by the court.
Okay, but then what happened?
Then what happened is he went to the building inspector and he tried to make complaints that there were squirrels in the house and something else.
So he doesn't complain about stuff with the building inspector until you begin an eviction proceeding.
Right.
Okay, do you have the paperwork from when he complained to the building inspector?
No, the building inspector came to the house.
I have.
You have it? Let me see the dates.
That's fine.
Let me see it. So you actually filed all this in July, not in April.
Okay, July. I'm not sure.
And at that point, according to you, he owes $425 for April, all of May, $325 for June, and $425 for July.
Right. Then in July.
No, not in July. August 1st, he calls a building inspector.
The building inspector comes to the house. He inspects the house. He finds nothing wrong with the house.
Let me see that he found nothing wrong with the house.
I don't have that piece of paper, Your Honor.
I went down there. They said
renting
they had
5
nothing.
rooms and apartment downstairs, moving Monday, but still has keys to get in to show you the condition. Holes in ceiling that squirrels come in and sit on microwave. Oh, how cute. Call him so he can let you in before he moves out Sunday. Whole place smells. We'll take pictures. Come before he moves or guy won't let you in. So you told the housing inspector that you were moving out.
Okay. Right.
And what happened? Did you move out?
No.
In fact, you lived there then August and paid no rent, September and paid no rent, and October and paid no rent.
No, I did pay rent, okay?
According to your own answer to the complaint, you didn't pay rent those months.
August and September, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
August, September, or October, you didn't pay rent.
I wasn't there October. I moved out.
This is how your answer begins. From March 2012 to October 2012, I had been a tenant in the plaintiff's rooming house. That's your answer to the complaint.
All right, I might have wrote that wrong because I moved into the new place I'm in right now, October 1st. That's a fact.
Your Honor, I have pictures of the property if you'd like to.
Yeah, let me see them. All right, why don't you tell me why you weren't paying rent?
Why? Because he told me everything was included, which I even have a thing here saying from today, from his ad, all included. There was no internet, no TV, no nothing. He kept telling me he's going to do it. The squirrels were literally in my wall, scrambling. I mentioned it to him numerous of times. The smell was horrendous.
If you moved in March and it's so bad, then why is it August 1st when you make your first complaint to the city?
Because it wasn't so bad when I moved in until the heat started getting bad.
According to him, you also weren't paying rent then. And
I was.
So can you prove that you were paying rent?
How can I prove? No, he never gave me a receipt. How am I going to prove it?
So who's that unfortunate for?
Unfortunately, it's on me.
The plaintiff says the defendant was a deadbeat from the get-go, never paying his rent. But the defendant is saying the place stunk and stunk bad. Let's listen.
Who's the fellow who's with you, moral support or a witness?
He saw what the house looks like, the smell, and he also, when he was moving me out, the day we moved out, he saw the squirrels go right into the back, into the, I got all the pictures.
He looks like he doesn't want me to call on him. He's got this look.
I got all
What
the
is your relationship to him?
Friend.
Okay. Tell me what you know.
Basically, like he said, you know, as we were moving, I saw squirrels going in and out of the roof by the gutter where the roofing shingles meet. There's a hole there, and it's slipping right through.
Did you ever see squirrels in his room?
No, but I heard noises. You can hear the noises.
Okay.
And, you know, it's moldy smell in the whole, you know, building, pretty much. And
all right, now, do you have anything from the building inspector finding him in violation?
No, they can't. He goes, I didn't write nothing down.
What do you mean they didn't write anything down?
Your Honor, I went down there.
Were you not there when they wanted to go in and inspect?
No, I was working. Okay, I mean, I went down there, I said, didn't you write, you have to write something up. This is just like the police department. They came to my house because he attacked me. I went down to get him.
Tell me what happened there.
He comes to my door, okay, I open the door, I could smell the alcohol on him. I want my rent. I said, I paid you already. What are you doing here? I told you, I paid you, get away from me. I could smell the alcohol. I shut the door in his face. Next thing I know, his brother knocks on the door. Listen, you can't live here for free. I said, I'm not living here for free. I'm not living here for free. I don't believe in living here for free, okay? You give me my money. And he busts past the door, jumps on me, puts me in a headlock, and literally hits me. Now I look at his brother at the doorway. I'm like, you're going to let him do this? And he just smiles at me. He goes, oh, we smell pot in here. Let's call the cops right now. I said, you go do that. They left. I shut the door. I called the cops. He must have called the cops at the same time. They come knocking on my door, okay? There's a complaint here about smoking pot in the room. I said, come on in. We really don't smell nothing. I said, listen, he's drunk. He attacked me. They said, well, we could pretty much see that.
Well, then if they pretty much see that, why don't they arrest him?
Charges? I said, no, because I used to drink a lot myself, okay? I said, just tell him to stay away from me, okay? Just tell him that's all I really want is for him to stay away from me. Right.
Do you have a police report that buttresses what you're saying?
They have no record of me even calling the police department or the police even coming to my house.
Do you have a police report that buttresses what you're saying that day?
I called 911, Your Honor.
And they didn't write a report to say that they smelled marijuana or whatever?
What's that? No. All right. Well, I do have an affidavit, Your Honor, from my brother who was basically working with me as the building manager and collecting the rents, stating that he was there when the police were there, and he admitted to smoking marijuana in the room to the police.
So he did not pay rent for 4 out of the 8 months, and the months he did pay wasn't paid in full. I know this because I'm house manager. Do you live there?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And your brother lives there too?
Yes, off and on.
He also was caught smoking marijuana. The police were called numerous times and freely admitted to doing drugs to the police. All right, so now, you have a counterclaim against him.
Okay, it only gets better.
For $5,000 for slander and defamation. Tell me about
when
that.
he came into my room and attacked me, okay, right after that, before they left, They were cursing at the top of their lungs.
And then your testimony on that is he attacked you, the police were going to arrest him, but you talked him out of it and said you don't want to press charges because you used to drink a lot.
Right. Well, you know, I know where I came. I came from the same place, okay? When you drink, you drink. You got to follow.
Yeah, I know, but people usually stop. Excuse me.
Okay, so I did drugs too. So
people usually stop feeling sorry for other people when they take them in a headlock. That's when they stop feeling sorry for other people. That's when all of a sudden the place became unlivable, and you don't pay August, September, or October.
I moved out on September 30th. So
you keep saying that, but your statement says that you moved out. I
messed up on my dates. So
okay, can you show me something that proves when you moved out? Do you happen to remember? Or you don't remember what date?
Yeah, I was there with him at the same
I know, but I know you remember moving him, but do you remember what date?
Here you go. Here. I got a statement from the other guy that moved me here with the date.
What about, where did you move to?
I manage a sober house in Oceanside now.
Say it again.
I manage a sober house in Oceanside.
Okay. So do you have something about when you moved in there?
Right there.
Okay.
And Larry helped me move also.
When do you say was the move?
It was on that day.
What day?
September 30th.
September 30th. This guy says it's October 1st. So tell me about the slander and defamation case.
There's a difference now. That day that he came and he attacked me, okay? Berg leaves the room and they both turned around and said, let me tell you something. We're going to make sure you never work at so-and-so again. Promise us. You don't know who you're with. We are going to make sure you never work there again.
And those are the people you felt sorry for and didn't want to have arrested? Go on.
Okay, the next day I go into work and I see somebody screaming. It's his brother. And he says that you sold his son drugs last night and that you're selling drugs out of your work.
Who said that?
His brother.
Who is telling you that that is being said by his brother?
My coworker that his brother was yelling at, being loud. And he wants
Is your coworker here?
No.
Do you have an affidavit from him?
They will not release it. They will not. I have my statement.
You can get your own affidavit.
I got, here, this is the letter I had to write. Everybody had to write a little defamation as to what happened that day for my company. They would not release it without having a court order. They told them straight up, do not do it, okay?
Hand it over, please. Are you still working there? You didn't end up losing your job, right?
That's once. Not once, but twice he did it.
Twice he came to your place of business and accused you of selling his kid drugs to try to get you fired. So now I understand why your brother's not here to be cross-examined. What's your brother doing?
My brother is single, Your Honor. He doesn't even have a kid. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I know. The idea being that it's made up in order to get him fired, right? Okay. That's kind of the idea.
I don't know that even happened, Your Honor. I wasn't there. That's apples and oranges. If he's saying that was said, he's suing the wrong person. He's not. He shouldn't be suing me. I didn't say it.
Why? He's the manager, isn't he?
No, I'm the owner of the house.
Well, if he's your manager, which is what you end up showing.
I'm not responsible legal liability for what he's possibly said.
Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true.
No one knows he ever said it. There's no proof. I don't have any proof he ever said that.
That's a different issue. I have him saying it happened. I have your brother refusing to show up here today.
Well.
You all deserve each other.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, if the plaintiff's brother was really spreading these lights, is the plaintiff responsible to the defendant for that?
No, I don't think so.
How come?
I mean, if my mom does something, I'm not responsible for what she does, so.
Fair enough, but the plaintiff owns the apartment building, right?
Yes.
So, is the plaintiff responsible for what his brother does?
No.
Even if it's done around the apartment building, he's spreading the lies around the apartment?
No.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, so do me a favor. No, you stay there. I'm going to ask you what you think about it, but why don't you pass the microphone to that guy? Okay?
In my own personal opinion, I don't think he's responsible. I mean, it's his brother. They are two individual people, so to each his own actions.
You would just make me feel bad about myself if I got any closer. Going inside the courtroom.
Okay. If rent is $625 a month and all you can prove you ever paid was $100, where do you think we're going to be? He gives you credit for paying more than what you're even able to prove you paid because he has a bunch of other receipts for rent that you paid. I know that he files an eviction against you because he's got the court papers saying in July that you owe, at that time, $1,800. Did you actually file a court case in July?
That's when he said he was going to move out. And
so you never actually filed the July paperwork.
I brought them.
There's no lawsuit that you abandoned. You never filed it.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Did you then file a lawsuit at some point?
I started another 30-day notice to vacate. At that time, that's when he finally moved out. So I didn't continue with it.
When did you file that one?
September, October.
When? Because if it's October, then it shows he's still there in October. You don't have it?
No, I don't have it, Your Honor.
That's not a good sound for you, by the way.
What's that? I'm sorry.
when you hear the crunching of numbers like that, that's not a good sound for you. All right, Mr. Bolas, I don't see any proof of any of the rental payments. I'm not going to order you to pay October because I don't see proof that you were still there in October, since you have 2 witnesses saying that you moved out either October 1st or September 30th. And I think that one's at least a close one. But I'm going to order you to pay the rest of the rent that you can't prove that you paid, which is a total of $3,050. I am finding in favor of the plaintiff. And as for your counterclaim against him, I would be willing to consider that if you had an iota of proof, number one. And number two, I agree with him that you should be suing the brother if he's the one who took it upon himself to go in there and spread that kind of slander. Okay? But that's your call. So as for your counterclaim against him, 0.
A verdict which leaves the defendant shaking his head as he comes out of the courtroom. What's going through your mind at this point?
Nothing. He's a slumlord. The place is the way it is. And he says, my brother is in with me on this, and he collects the rent, and he's in charge of this and that. Well, what gives him the right to go to my job and tell him I'm selling drugs? I have it, and I sell it to his kid, and that's not right. Okay, he says he's part of, being part of him, and I think it should be the counsel should go. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go forward with it.
You will? You're going to go ahead and sue his brother for slander?
You know it. I'm definitely doing it.
All right. Okay. All right, guys. Right down this way, okay? It's going to be difficult to prove, as the judge says. What's your reaction to this outcome?
I'm just glad that it's over with, that he's out of my house, he's out of my hair. You know what I mean? I'm getting paid, most of what I asked for. And
did you put him in a headlock?
No, I did not.
No.
The police came and there was no validity to any of it. That's why they left. They were just like, they couldn't do anything about the marijuana smell. They're not going to do it over.
Okay. Okay, Harvey.
By the way, falsely accusing somebody of being a drug addict is defamation, period. You don't have to prove anything more other than that it's a lie, but you have to sue the right person. And that's the problem here. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.